Team, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Right, before we get started, a name has been forwarded to me, and that name is Maratha. And I kind of like it. Maratha is not actually a pirate, Maratha is a place. But there was a famous pirate called Kanoji Angra, if I'm saying that completely wrong, who made the Dutch East Indies Company's life really annoying for quite some years. And he was a naval commander from a little place called Maratha, and I love it, Maratha. Here you go. This is Maratha. Welcome aboard. Right, it is 10 years since we last had a look at this. It's 1910. What have I been doing? Well, I've been doing exactly what I said I would be doing, which is messing around with some things and balancing some things. So, and I'll just quickly run through some of those things. So, we've got our trains down here, our oil trains, which are doing us jolly, jolly good and a jolly, jolly, jolly good favor. And you can see the jump there when I went through and redid the trains and added a third train. So we now have three trains running on this line, which is jolly, jolly good. And they're all now kitted out because I have new gear. So that's what I've also been going through as well. You remember we had a black train. That black train is now gone. 1907 was when it ran out. So we've been moving forward with some new trains. We're using the Russian class GV, which I did say we were going to use. And we have moved up to the larger cars, which we now have down at the bottom, and it means that I can get more cars in less space and carry more stuff. It does cost a little bit more, and there's a couple of things. Just by way of explanation, let's just cover a couple of things. How do I make my decisions for these kinds of things, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, when we're looking here at these engines, I'm looking at top speed, obviously. I like things to go quickly. The more you can move stuff, the more you get paid. The more you get paid, the better your accounts look at the end of the year and so on. But you obviously have to take into account what that costs and everything else. Now, just because your train has a top speed of 55 doesn't mean it's going to get to 55. And there's a number of issues that have to do with that. First is power. Power, which is, it's kind of like, I guess, it's basically like sort of horsepower in that the higher the power of the engine, the faster it will accelerate and the sooner it will get up to top speed and the higher the top speed will normally be. In this case, that's not the case because on this one, the power is being transferred into tractive effort. What is tractive effort? Tractive effort, which is something you don't really get with cars much, but you do get with trucks and trains, is how much it can pull and how quickly it can get started from a standing start. So this is a 50 kilonewton, this is a 60 kilonewton. So this has more power, but that power is being translated into moving it quickly. So what you might find is if you have a track where you can't really get up to 55, then this train might be better. Obviously, you need to factor in, as I've said before in my other videos, how much this costs you per year to run and how much it costs you to replace at the end of its lifespan, which is about 50 years for both of these. And this one, the PV, this I'm only using for the commuter services at the minute because speed is important to humans. Less so with the cargo, but definitely with the humans. So again, it has a lot of power and not super great tractive effort. So this will get up to speed quickly. So this is a faster, nippier thing, and it's not intended to pull an awful lot. We then have this thing, which is a grunter, obviously designed to pull heavy loads, 189,000. And we have this thing, which is also that's designed to pull reasonable loads. And we're starting to get into some large things here now. We're starting to get into the large era of trains. You can see we've got the train and coal, and it's like 880 kilowatts of power, can do 115 kilometers an hour, 140 tractive effort, but it costs 550,000 a year. So how do I make my decisions when I'm replacing these things, right? How do I get to that? So I'm looking at a train, I'm going, I'd like to replace that train. I mean, it would be nice if I could just replace every train with the best possible train there is, right? And make it as long as I can possibly make it. I mean, we can make each of these platforms, how long we can make them? Like 180 meters or something? 200 meters long? How long is the longest train track? Just out of interest. This is a cargo terminus station. 320 meters. Look at that. It's like a third of a kilometer long. Blimey, O'Reilly, you grow old walking to the end of that. Why don't I just make all trains that big? And then, like, I could just shift an awful lot of stuff. Well, there's things that factor into that. We've obviously said that the layout of the track actually has a significant importance on what you can and cannot do. So if we have a look here, the track at this corner drops down in speed. So this is probably largely not very important at this stage. It's a 120 kilometer track, but round this corner it drops off to 91 kilometers. So no matter what train I put on here, the actual limit of this track is 91 kilometers an hour. So we can't go round there any faster than 91 kilometers an hour. If I have a look at, say, one of my other tracks, which are maybe a little bit more in a different place, this says that one's doing 120, which is something of a surprise, I would have to say. I wouldn't suggest that that's true. But down here, look at this. Where these junctions are, because there's junctions here, we're dropping down to below 50 Ks. So you need to be aware of that. So don't go chucking huge, great big trains on your tracks if they're not going to be any use to you. Where were we? Quezon City. Down here. This is where we were. So when I look at my train, I look at my profit here, and you can see the jump up. So let's have a look at this train. Do we need to upgrade this train? It's been working for a little bit. This is really when it started working. So if we have a look at this, this is when it started working. Now, because this is a long track, you don't always get the same amount every year, right? So you end up in a situation where you have a year where you do, I don't know, let's call it 2 runs, and then the next year you don't quite manage to get 2 runs before you're almost there, but the calendar ticks over and you arrive 3 days late after the end of the year. It gets credited onto the next year, so you often end up with little years like this, which are a little bit odd. So you just have to sort of take the balance. So if we have a look at this on balance, we had 1990-10 and 1911 were a bit low, which is a bit of a shame, but it's costing us just over, that looks to be like 600,000 a year in terms of running costs. And we're making 1.4 million. So when we are making 1.4 million, so that's 800,000. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8. So that's 3.2 million. And even when we're on a bad year, we're making more than it costs us. Not a lot, but we're making a bit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We haven't finished our 7th year. It'll probably be a better year. So 6 years, 3.2 million. So that's somewhere between 500 and 600,000 a year that we're making for this train. So this train is making us between 500 and 600,000 a year. Now, if I go in here then and decide I want to change that, what I do is I look at how much cost that is per year. So this locomotive is costing me 114,000 a year. If I wanted to get, what do I want? More speed, more tractive power. If I wanted to get this one, which is a bit gruntier in both power and tractive effort, but not a super amount of speed, that's 189,184 a year. And this is 100, so that's only another 70,000 per year. So that's fine. I could afford that. I could afford to put that on there and I could still make money. We've got this one, which what's this 55, which does go faster, has more tractive effort and has more power. 266,000 over that. That's 150,000. We're now kind of sort of, that's a lot of money, but we could still afford it. We could still break even. Where were we? This one, 266,000. We go up to this one, 279. We go, oh, let's go to this one, 550,000. So that's 444,000 extra a year in terms of what that's going to cost me. Now, what I also said to you is you need to think about when you need to replace it. 3.3 million to replace. So you need to divide that over 50 years, which is, it's not a lot. It was like 60,000. So that's an extra 60,000 a year on top of that. So 404 is this 500,000 a year is what I'm going to have to be making. That's close. that that's that's close to the mark. So I could, but also bear in mind that I'm using that money for investing into other things. So it's not solely just entirely. I want to take some of that profit and I want to put it into detailing eventually, and I want to put it into growth elsewhere, and I want to put it into everything else. So that's what I generally do. Is I generally go through and I mess around with things, and I have a look at those trains that are making me a lot of money, and those things that aren't making me a lot of money. And you can do that down here on your lines, like I said, and you can set it up for balance and things like that. And you can have a look at all of those lines that are making you a lot of money and those lines that are not making you a lot of money. And you can say to yourself, well, which lines do I want to invest in? Do I want to invest in Quaison oil? It's not fully tanked out yet, that's for sure. So we could probably invest in this line just a little bit more. And you can see here Krasnoyarsk wheat. They're running full, so that's fine. That could probably do with some investment. And Jakarta logs, which we just changed up the boats. I said I would, and we have. That's making us a lot of money, and so on and so forth, and so it goes. If you want to know about individual vehicles, you can obviously do that, and you can put that also into balance, and you can have a look at those, which are your most valuable vehicles and which are not. And you've got Krasnoyarsk wheat, which seems to be making me a fair amount of money just by itself. And then we've got the oils, which is to be expected. You can have a look at the other ones. And then you can obviously go down to the bottom and you'll have a look at ones that are losing money. And the ones that lose money for a variety of reasons. And sometimes they're losing money when you look at them, and then as you let the game play, they'll go back to making money. It means they're not making money all the time, and I would expect it for the food trucks because they're probably, as here, running empty some of the time. It's hard to balance these out. And this is two vehicles which are carrying passengers, but it looks like they haven't recognized the revenue yet because they are fully loaded, and I'm sure they will be fine. So that's what I have been doing, and that's what we have been up to, and that's what's been going on. Hey, big shocker down here. Look at this. We have people. We have people waiting. And where's my commuter train? We have our commuter. It's actually, I mean, it's making money. I don't want to scare you, but it's actually, for goodness sake, making me money. Which is, it's full. It's filled with people. Look, there's people in there sitting in their Russian carriages, apparently. Watching the world go by, which is jolly, jolly good. And the other commuter, which is, where is he? He's up here somewhere. Is this him? Is this he? Yes, this one. He's also starting to make me money. I've had to increase the carriages. He's got slightly fancier carriages. He is not quite full, but he's doing quite well. And in order to make sure that those got fully patronized, I got rid of the bus lines. So if you want to get from Quaison to Daegu, unless you've got your own car, you're going to have to go via train, and you're going to have to go via Krasnoyarsk, and that's perfectly fine. And I've been keeping an eye on this line here, Daegu to Dubai. This here is that's not what I wanted to do. This here is loaded up with little diesel trucks, which is great. I'll replace that one that I accidentally sold, and they're making me money and they're doing things to me, and because there are so many people who are traveling via this line. I mean, you have a look. How long is this? I mean, this particular vehicle has been on this line for a while. Again, commuter train. So Daegu to Dubai. Yep, absolutely. We've now got a commuter train from there to there. And what about these guys that are over here? This is, who is this? Kuala Lumpur to Dubai. Look at that. That's also ticking up. So expanding this computer system. Oh, this industry is going away. Computer system? Commuter network is definitely looking like it's something that needs to happen. So yeah, so I've been balancing the few lines out. We got more log trucks, more log trains that are running. We have been through and checked everything. We've made sure that all of these little connections are tied in. So where we are delivering stuff to a town, like for example, here at Daegu, we've got things that are being picked up and delivered to the appropriate places that need them to be delivered to. So it's not just a case of connecting up the cargo. You need to make sure that the cargo gets to where it wants to get to, which is down in here, which is fantastic. So they're now getting tools, which is great. And as you can see here, some of our towns are growing and are now expressing a need for other things because they are getting larger. So we have Bangkok, which also wants more stuff. And we have, I just think it's Krasnoyarsk at this stage that wants more stuff. So we need to have a little think about who, how, where, when, and why we're going to connect all of this stuff. And what I would also like to do is I would like to look at how we now connect these islands. So I think we're making a lot of money, as you can see. I think we need bridges to the islands. There's a road here to Bangkok, so I think we need to take this road off here and build a bridge to Nagoya and connect Nagoya to the rest of the world. I think that will help Nagoya grow quite a lot. Faisalabad is seriously a problem because it's very, very far away. I don't think a bridge will work. Um, we'll need to have a think about that one. If we can create perhaps a commuter port here, we might be able to put a port to port, and then they could jump on the train and they could join the commuting network from Krasnoyarsk or something. Jakarta will be straightforward. There's a bridge, so we might not even need a bridge, a causeway, because this is essentially mostly land anyway. So we can put a causeway to Jakarta. We can put a bridge to Nagoya. Faisalabad's going to need a port connection, which is going to be a little bit more interesting. So I think we need to connect those up. We need to expand our commuter network at least as far as Dubai. And I also probably then need to start thinking about I don't really think we have the right kind of roads yet. I want to wait till we get the asphalt, concrete, whatever it is, country roads before we start improving the road system. But we also need to start thinking about um, bricks to Krasnoyarsk. I haven't done bricks to Krasnoyarsk yet. We haven't got the food sorted, but then Jakarta is not connected yet. I haven't got tools to Kuala Lumpur yet. So there's a few things that I would like to do. I think maybe for this one, let's focus on just connecting all of the towns so that we can somehow get all of the towns connected to each other. We'll let the industries just keep running away as they can and as they are. And if we do get time, we'll see if we can't broaden some of the connections of some of the products, like the tools that we are currently producing down here in Krasnoyarsk. The machines are going pretty well over here, I can tell you. So they're due once we get a little bit more transport sorted. We're growing this train so he can carry more goods. Once he's carried a few more goods out of there, we can probably then work at hooking that into Daegu, which is actually mostly already connected. There's just this junction and system network here that needs ironed out. And I can iron that out. It just requires a little bit of tweak, turn this into a straight with an offshoot instead of these two offshoots, which is perfectly fine. So there you go. That's me probably waffled on long enough by way of introduction. Why don't I get in and do a little bit of those changes via the good old time lapse, and I'll bring you back to Maratha when I've done a bit more of that. I'll see you soon. Right, well, hello again. Right, so big changes that you saw. So you saw me connect Jakarta. A bit of a pain to connect it. I'm not, I'm not super sold on these, but actually this doesn't look too bad. This doesn't look too bad. Um, it reminds me of small bridges in Scotland, West Coast kind of way. So that's fine. This one didn't look right, so I put this in. I mean, it still doesn't look right. You wouldn't put that spar in the middle, in the deepest. Anyway, I could fix it, and detailing is to come. Detailing is to come. So we have Nagoya connected and Jakarta connected. What do they need? They need more buses. Do we have? We don't have a bus depot on the island. What we'll do is we'll plonk in a road depot. Let's spin it around, plonk it on somewhere cheaper. There, where was that 11,703? There. So they want more buses to connect them to Bangkok, which is not a huge surprise. We've got these new little buses in, so they want 83. Each of these takes 8. So we're running a few more. We'll add 3 more of those buses in, which is great. So there you go. Yeah. So what else have we been doing? Oh gosh, we've been doing a lot. Been doing a lot of economic balancing. And and it's dynamic, so there's still things to do. But we did connect up this industry. We had to because they were threatening to go away, and it looks like we need some more trucks to move this stuff. Kuala Lumpur tools trucks. So, well, we may as well. We may as well. How many have we got? Just the one, and we've now got the Benz tarpaulin trucks. Yes, which are really really nice. We don't need to replace it. We need to duplicate it. Let's stick another one on for now and see how we go. So we had to connect that up because they were threatening to disappear. So we connected them up, and our train is zipping along over here. And we'll talk about the train layouts in a minute because I've pretty much changed all of the train layouts one way or another. And we connected up to Yekaterinburg. So Yekaterinburg is now connected, and Yekaterinburg is now getting bricks. So they have joined the rest of the world in terms of that kind of stuff with bricks, which is jolly good. So they're now getting bricks. I haven't gone as far as getting them tools yet because that's going to be a little bit complicated. It'll probably be from here, I think. And I didn't really finish this line because I ran out of money at the time, and I was borrowing money to invest in trains and a whole bunch of bits and pieces. So I had to do all that, and I did all that, and all of that was done. So we connected that up. Oh, and the commuter, we added in an extra commuter. So we are now commuting to Dubai. I haven't connected a commuter up to Yekaterinburg yet, but it will be probably next on the list of things to do. I just need to swap out one side of the cargo and swap in a commuter, and we'll be able to sort that out. The issue is I could commute from Daegu, but I can't commute from Dubai. We could commute from Bangkok because we have the train there, but we don't have a connection to Dubai yet because this is where the train station is. And as you can see, the city is building out this way, and I've put a transport depot out there and things. So this could be an interesting one. Dubai could have 2 stations. Well, they already have 2 stations, actually. They could have 3 stations. I could put, because this is a residential area, I could put the commuter station over here, and then we would be commuting out that way. Yeah, one to think about. Anyway, and I haven't connected Nagoya to anywhere with the train station just yet. Don't know if I ever will, to be fair. Don't know if I ever will. It would be expensive, an expensive prospect, and eventually we'll get really good electric buses, and we'll be able to bus people around. There's no other reason to be on this island with the train. There's no industry out here. There's no nothing. So we might just let Nagoya be. It's interesting how it's growing into the sea. I wonder how the game copes with that. We've not done islands before, so I don't know how it's going to cope with that, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens. To see what happens. Never mind. We haven't done anything with Faisalabad. Still thinking about what that might look like. I mean, it's a whopping great big bridge, or we do the port. So anyway, um, so there you go. We've connected up a few more things. Something interesting happened over at where was it? I feel like it was Daegu. Was it Daegu? No, I think it was Krasnoyarsk. They're back again with bricks because the guy started out wanting bricks. Yeah, this guy. This guy started out wanting bricks. This guy right here. So I set up a brick line and then he disappeared. He must have, I don't know what his story was, but he disappeared. Yeah, vacant. So I don't know what happened with the bricks. I don't think it was because I'm bringing bricks in here and I'm supplying them over there, but I don't think it was enough for him. Anyway, he disappeared and I was running a train for that. So one building, not enough. Not going to worry about that. Definitely not going to worry about that at all. Um, and everything else kind of is what it is. In terms of where we are with our lines and all the rest of it, it's all looking good. Now, if you have a look at these trains, you will see that I have upgraded all of the trains. Now, I've done this in a meaningful way, upgraded all the trains. There's some trains I haven't upgraded yet. I've done this in, well, let's have a look at the trains first. I've done this in a sort of meaningful way. Obviously, we know that, take for example, the oil. It's worthwhile investing in. These are the biggest, fastest locos that are now pulling these things. And that one's only got 6. I wonder why that one's only got 6. 52 of 72 is not even full either. Interesting. Keep an eye on that one. What's he pulling? Nothing. What's he pulling? 50 of 72. He's a 6. He's a 9. He's a 6. Interesting. We'll keep an eye on those 3. So we know that those are going to make us money. That said, now that I've got 3 of them, I might not need 3 of them because they're big, powerful locomotives. So I can probably look to change, fiddle a little bit with that. The rest is the 75 kilometers an hour sort of grunty steam train, which I use to increase the cargo capacity for things that we know really make money and really don't run out. Krasnoyarsk wheat doesn't. The Daegu Yekaterinburg bricks is a busy line, believe it or not. Well, you can see by the money that it's a busy line. Krasno Daegu Tools is also a busy line, believe it or not. Ore, oil, logs, more oil. The steel supply, as you can see, he's fully loaded. That's a busy line. We've got brick supply, more logs, timber, more wheat. This commuter is doing really well, the Daegu to Dubai commuter. So keep them going fast. We've got more raw materials. We got the food, which is 59 to 60, which is pretty good. The Krasnoyarsk Daegu commuter, a little bit smaller train, but it might need to be revamped a little bit. It's got a capacity of 42 and it looks to be fully loaded at the minute. The timber from Krasnoyarsk is it's actually a short line, which is why I'm running a smaller train. But I'll keep an eye on that one. It wasn't too profitable last time I looked. I mean, 266 isn't bad. Dubai Timber is doing okay. Yekaterinburg Bangkok Machines is also doing okay. So at least a couple of them might need an upgrade. This commuter is doing okay. I just changed it. It was losing me money, and I just sorted it out. And that's the redundant line. And this is the Dubai Brick line, which was doing okay. Seems like it's dropped off a bit, probably because it's a faster train. So 59 out of 96, you say. So we could probably have a look at that and say 108 is probably a bit much. If he's hauling 59, 72 is probably fine. Let's leave it at 72, shall we? And he can do that. The rest of the vehicles wise, which is essentially, well, not including the boats, is these. Now I've upgraded a lot of these, and as you can see, a lot of them, well, all of them are now making me money, which is great. Some of the smaller ones I didn't. So this is like one truck, and I haven't felt the need to upgrade those just yet. The lines are still, I guess, what you might say, in flux. So that's perfectly fine. So there you go. So we've invested a lot. I have invested a lot. Where is my finances? You can see my chart maybe. Um, I mean, you can see that there's been a few big spikes in expenses. That's when I've been investing in things. You can't really see very far with this because it just doesn't go back far enough. But you can see that, for their example, the investments that year, 10 million, 9 million, 14 million. And I was doing that for I was probably doing that since about 1912. So yeah, so probably about 4 or 5 years worth of serious investments in upgrading all of the traffic and everything. It just seems to be how it comes in with the game. You get this great big impulse, sort of just after 1910, in all new equipment. You can see that my bank balance has been sort of staying where it is. My value has been increasing. That's because I've been spending my profit. My tracks jumped up a little bit, but not a lot. Added some new tracks, but not a vast amount. My towns are sort of increasing, but we've still got a bit of work to do. And I still haven't put my headquarters anywhere. Still haven't put my headquarters anywhere. So Maratha is looking really, really good. Maratha is looking fine. We're heading into the 1920s, I think, pretty well suited. Things are starting to look a little bit busy, but that's okay. We've managed to knock back on some train lengths and some. We haven't knocked back on any train numbers yet. We've knocked back on vehicle numbers, trucks and buses and stuff. And as you can see, we probably need to iron out a few more buses around the regions. Jakarta Daegu, for example, we still haven't got really good roads. So I still haven't even started working on upgrading the roads yet. So, I'm not going to do anything. Don't really want to do too much with detailing until we get better roads, because then I can sort out the roads and I can detail a couple of other bits and pieces. So we're going to wait on that a little bit. There's no particular new fantastic or exciting tools have cropped in. We obviously have our boats, which I haven't talked about, which are still doing perfectly fine if you have a look at the numbers. And the level, pardon you, the level of timber is fine. They're not quite full, but they're okay. This guy might be wandering in here slightly empty, but these things do fill up pretty quickly. So that's all doing fine. So yeah, so we're looking pretty good. There's a couple of little peanuts we still have to crack, in terms of moving machines to Daegu, tools to Bangkok. We don't have tools to Bangkok. We've got machines to Bangkok. We don't have tools to Ekaterinburg. We don't have anything to Jakarta. We don't have anything out to Nagoya. We need to think about how we're going to get things out there. And we still don't have a solution for fuel. I haven't seen any new industries pop up. We've still got oil out here, but like I've said, the nearest oil refinery is here, I think. So it would still be a heck of a journey to try and get oil from there to there directly across country. Um, it's probably doable, but it's gonna make a heck of a mess because it's one straight line right across the country. I'd rather we didn't have to do that. And obviously plastics is way up there, same problem. So yeah, so let's focus on some of the things that we can solve, and worry about some of the things that we can't solve later, shall we? Anyway, Maratha, doing really well. Hope you are enjoying it. If you are, click that like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please check out the channel memberships. and let me know if there is anything else that you think I should be doing or anything else you would like to see, right? And I'll see you all again real soon. From Maratha, ta-ta for now.